Hello, I'm Jenny Meadows and welcome to day 9, the final session of the World Athletics Championships 2023. The 19th edition of the Global Championships has been widely acknowledged as being amongst one of the best ever staged, and let's hope that the men's javelin throw can add to that billing. Well, let's have a look at the weather. Another hot and balmy one, 31 degrees and nil wind. Well, if we look at how these men qualify for this final, that's Jakub Valček of the Czech Republic. He needed 83 meters to qualify for this final. Qualification happened a couple of days ago, and in his second round, he went out to 83 meters 50. You can see that was one of the morning sessions. It's been hot throughout this championships, searing heat for those qualifiers. Arshad Nadeem of Pakistan, well, he came here this year without competing so far this year. Well, that was his best throw and it was a huge one, but I've got to say it was very rusty in the first round. It was just over 81 meters in the second round, and he had to take all 3 throws, and there you can see that was the end of this third round. He was almost saying, what was the delay? And 86 meters at 79, that was the second best throw that we saw through those qualification rounds. And it's easy, isn't it, when you hit that spear? Absolute perfect combination of speed, skill and accuracy. But it was one and done for the reigning Olympic champion, Neeraj Chopra of India. And that was tickling at the 90-meter line. That was 88 meters 77. Oh, and he was pretty close to that foul line, wasn't he? Just put his whole body behind it. An absolute full extension there for Chopra. So those were the 3 men with the farthest throws in those qualification groups. And we will have all the qualifiers for that final. There is the first page of 10. Traditional athletics format here, of course. We are taking 12 through to this final, so we will have a second page of qualifiers. Those 2 athletes, there we go. Kinjor Jenner, the 3rd Indian athlete to make this final. Timothy Herman from Belgium. Well, we've got another very busy evening inside the National Athletics Centre. 35,000 people were packed in here last night. Just see there are a few seats still vacant at the moment, but plenty of people on that concourse. I think at the end of the evening we will know it was a full house, full 35,000 capacity. And a really, really interesting evening. Final after final, of course, with this final session of the 19 World Athletics Championships. Well, those are the implements about to be thrown by these men who's made this final. Well worth looking down those records. Jan Železný with the world record and the championship record. And it is Jakub Valček of the Czech Republic again. Real domination, that nation, over the javelin throw. Jan Železný does actually coach Jakub Valček. There he is, right on cue. Still looks fit and healthy. Wonder what he could throw the javelin out to right now. Well, the Indian fans are in the house. That's because they've got a hat-trick of men in this final. Stand a real good shout at least getting one of those medals. But here are the athletes. These are not the athletes in the start order. This is what we call the drama order. David Wegner of Poland making his first World Championship final. Adrian Marder of Moldova, national record holder, has made a World Championship final previously. One of 3 Indian athletes, DP Manu, is the Asian Games silver medalist this year. Kishore Jenna also representing India. Personal best this season, not just a personal best, he advanced over 6 meters to his lifetime best figures. From Lithuania, Edis Metusevičius, national record holder, he set that 4 years ago. I am Abdelrahman of Egypt. This is his 4th World Championship final. Got himself a silver medal 9 years ago now, 8 years ago in fact, in Beijing. Arshad Nadeem, we've already seen him on the qualification VT from Pakistan. He is one of those athletes we have to look out for having one of the best marks. Timotei Herman of Belgium, national record holder this year from Finland. He's going to throw first in this final. Oliver Helander, 2-time national champion. And this man, the European champion, Julian Weber, he's in a shout for getting amongst the medal. And here is Jakub Valček, the world leader coming into this competition. He took a silver medal in Tokyo. Behind this man, Neeraj Chopra from India, the Olympic champion. He became India's first ever Olympic champion in the sport. And a very, very popular figure in India. Well, those are our 12 men who will contest for those 3 medals. They will have spent some time warming up for this competition. Then they'll have got on a golf buggy. If you have been following this championships, the warm-up area is around about 400 or 500 meters away from the National Athletic Centre. They get on golf buggies. They have to report around about 40 minutes before this competition starts. They were allowed out onto the field. They've been out there around 15 minutes already. Had a couple of practice throws. Of course, they've been introduced to the crowd. And now it's showtime, the men's javelin final. So it will be Oliver Helander of Finland to start this men's javelin final. Personal best, very impressive, 89 meters 83. Pretty close to that this year, 87.36, world rank number 6. Well, he really puts all his body behind that one. And that is a deliberate technique that some of these men choose to do. It is much better than jarring some of those joints. will be a well-practiced, well-rehearsed release of that spear. And Alanda, 83.38. Well, that's a solid start from the man from Finland. Badlach will be up next. I always wonder what the preference is. Do you want to start first? Would you rather be towards the end of the start order or mid-pack? I should ask one of these men when I get the opportunity. But Vladček, what can he start his campaign with? It was 81 meters 34 in round 1 of qualification. He then had to take his second round, and that's where he nailed the 83.50 automatic distance. Well, it is worth saying at this stage, there are a lot of track events on this evening, and you can see that he's just put his javelin down. Got a men's 5,000 meters that will start soon. When I think about that, 12 and a half laps of the track, and 12 men trying to take their throws in the javelin. It's going to be a lot of patience, inspired opportunities for when these men can go through their throws. Vladček, all the experience in the world, he won't be rushed, he'll know it's better just to pause, just to relax. Here's an athlete who's gone over that magic 90-meter distance in his career, 90.88. Vladček from the Czech Republic starting his World Championship final campaign. Well, another solid opener from the man from the Czech Republic. And he really does use all of that run-up. Goes all the way, I call it the foul line. Obviously, if you step over, it's a foul. But 82 meters at 59. Wegner of Poland. 82.21 is his best. He went out to 81.25 in qualification, so he got through courtesy of being one of the next best marks. We always take 12 competitors through to these throws finals. Let's have another look at that. I think he was just saying he just got a little bit too much height on it. That is below 80 meters for Wegner, 78.19. Well, I cannot imagine how many people in India are watching this final right now. Chopra has 6.2 million followers on Instagram. One of the great Usain Bolt from the athletics world has more than him. So I have already said, I don't think we're going to expect the huge distances today. Javelin throws like a tailwind. There's no wind at all in the National Athletics Centre. That one just touches down just below 80 meters. And Chopra says, no, 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 I'm not having that sort of mark next to my name. He just deliberately walks over that foul line. There we go. Well, he has competed sparingly this year. Took a couple of wins in Diamond Leagues, Doha and Lausanne, but he had an injury during the middle of the year, so that's why we've not seen him compete very often. It is worth pointing out, both Chopra and Nadeem have both not got a world ranking, which is absolutely ludicrous. That's obviously because they have competed sparingly due to those injuries over the last 12 months. So maybe you could be forgiven thinking, you know what? I wouldn't really think about these guys. They're not consistent. But they're very, very consistent. They just haven't had those competitions behind them. As Adrian Mardar of Moldova starts his World Championship campaign. And again, that looks like it's just come down just below 80 meters. 66 meters is his own national record. He set that a couple of seasons ago. So always good just to benchmark what the conditions are inside this arena. 83 meters is the best we've had thus far this evening. As we see Arshad Nadeem from Pakistan. Brilliant in qualification, improved in every single round, and that one is over 80 meters. Well, he just really built through the 3 rounds in that qualification. And he did need to take 3. He probably would have been safe just taking 2, but you never know when there's 2 groups going on side by side. In the end, it was probably very good competition practice for an athlete who's not got many competition throws under his belt this year. 80 meters 64 from the man from Egypt. Just excusing myself, that was the competitor from Egypt. I was thinking that was Nadeem Abdel Haram. It was. This is Nadeem from Pakistan. This is the 7th competitor to feature in this men's javelin final. And that is the shortest distance we've seen thus far this evening. Just really fell out of the air, didn't it? Couldn't benefit from any air time. All to do with, it's a combination of aerodynamics, I guess, as well as biomechanics. But Nadeem does put one out there, 74.80. That was very similar to his first round throw in that qualification group. This will be the 2nd Indian athlete who's advanced to this final, DP Manu. He was 5th in a very, very competitive Commonwealth Games last year in Birmingham. Well, I love how Manu really keeps that javelin so close to his face. Look at that for concentration. When we talk about putting your whole body behind a throw, that was absolute textbook. Great that we can see that graphic. We go at 35-degree angle. They say in this event anywhere between 30 and 40 degrees is the optimum. From Lithuania is Meitas Sebakus, 2 times world university champion. And again, just not those big distances so far in the first round. Well, there really hasn't been much wind the whole of this championships. And if there has been a wind, it's just been a little bit of a breeze. But I've got some papers on my desk here in the commentary booth, and they're not even blowing. It's so still. Great image there of the 3 medals that all of these men are competing for. Number 10 in the start order is Julian Weber of Germany. And he's asking the crowd to get behind him. I must admit, when I saw him coming out for his warm-up, he looked very relaxed, smiling and waving at certain people in the crowd. Weber, what can he do in round 1? Well, body language always says it all. Before that had even landed, he just knew, I'm not that impressed with my opener. Well, Weber is world rank number 2. Is number 4 so far in this competition in the early rounds, 80 meters 43. If you want to know how hot it is down there, Weber putting that ice pack all on his head, just trying to cool his core body temperature down. Kishore Jenner of India. They opened up a season on the 1st of March. He's still going on the 27th of August and is in fine form. And another javelin that just goes up in the air and then just comes down very, very quickly. He's so bouncy and so springy, isn't he? On that runway. He's just looking up, he's interested in his distance, and it is 75.70. Timothy Herman of Belgium will be the 12th and final competitor to get his round 1 throw underway. Very, very fast on the runway. And again, one of those javelins just not finding any flight time this evening. I think that was one of the heaviest falls to the floor. Look at those wrists. Oh, they've really absorbed some pressure there. Well, maybe a skin adhesion is better than jarring some of those joints. 72 meters 17 for Herman. Back to the start of these athletes. This is Oliver Hollander. 83.38, and he hasn't been overhauled so far in round 1. Well, another one over 80 meters. I don't think that's going to be an improvement from the man from Finland. Such a great throws nation, Finland, particularly the javelin throw. Here we go, look at that speed. 27 meters per second on the runway. 81.44. It's such a tricky event, the javelin. They all are. They're so technical. 3 key things. It's that height of the throw, the angle of release, and the velocity at release. And it's just getting that perfect combination of the three. Javelin starts his second round. Oh, and that looks a big one. Certainly not as far as he'd probably like, but that's a big improvement from the man from the Czech Republic in the second round. It was 82.59 in the first. Oh, and look at the speed on that. That's the fastest we've seen so far, 29 meters per second. 34 degrees at the angle of release, 84.18. Well, the distance backs up the statistics, doesn't it? Wegner of Poland will be next. Solid opener from the man from Poland. He might have initially been disappointed with 78.19. Started in start order 3. But he was 7th at the end of the first round. He's improved almost 5 meters this year. Nice, bouncy, rhythmic approach. And again, that spear just really came down. Didn't stay in the air. The wind just not playing ball to launch that spear out to those great distances that all of these men would hope to save this evening. I think it's going to be a contest of the conditions this evening. And that's 74.60 for Wegner. So the Indian flag is back out. And Chopra is asking the crowd. This really seems up for this second round one. It was a foul in the first, remember. He decided to step over that foul line himself. Here we go, Chopra, what can he do in round 2? Well, he likes it. He's not even following the javelin. He looked to the crowd. He said, that's a good one, guys. And I hope the atmosphere is really coming through, because the whole stadium is absolutely buzzing with that one. Look at that, 28 meters per second. Similar angle as well, 34 degrees. But it's just what his body does, isn't it? 88 meters 17. He almost wraps his body round that javelin as Mardar from Moldova goes for his second attempt. Well, Chopra has got a season's best of 88.77. That was in qualification, and it was 88.17, that second round attempt. That is in medal territory. That is the aim for the rest of this men in this competition. Mardar, not an improvement. 79.24 from the man from Moldova in round 2. Abdelrahman of Egypt, sitting in 4th position so far, so powerful. That one falls below 80 meters. So that won't be an improvement. 80.64 it was for him in the first. And it's so consistent around the 80 meter to 83 meter mark for several seasons. He did put an absolutely massive one, 89.21, down several years ago. 78 meters 94. Arshad Nadeem from Pakistan. He was 5th in the Commonwealth Games, he was 5th in Tokyo, he was 5th in Oregon. Sitting in 11th position so far. Nicely measured run up. Oh, and that's going to be an improvement. Well, it was only 74.80 in round 1. Very reminiscent of his qualification attempts, just building. Let's see what Nadeem has gone out to, 82.81. So he's leapfrog his way right up the leaderboard. DP Manu. The next man to go in this javelin throw final. 23 years of age now. The javelin throw is definitely an event that you grow into. It takes you a while to learn the skill and the technique, to get all the elements to knit together. He's doing incredibly well for his youthful years. That was a foul by Manu. So 78 metres at 44 from him in the first. He's currently in 8th position. Well, the man from Lithuania, 75.13 in the first. They want to put several metres on top of that. Mesu Suaviku. Oh, and that looked absolutely beautiful, the way he launched that javelin. Real good trajectory. And that will be a huge improvement. Some 5 metres, I would say. Just finds its way over the 80-metre line. And talk about aerodynamics, his whole body mechanics. They were just so straight, weren't they? 80 metres 42. Weber of Germany. 6th position after round 1. 80 metres 43. We'll have 2 more men to follow him to complete the end of the second round. And this mascot, you know what, he or she has been absolutely great through the whole of the championships. It's become a great feature over the years. Local organisers are competing with previous editions of mascots at the championships. But we don't need the mascot for entertainment when we've got a world-class men's javelin final going on. Weber of Germany. Can he live up to his world #2 billing?
Yeah! Come on!
And he says, yes, come on! Well, that is over 85 metres. And that is going to take him from 6th position into 2nd position, as long as I've got my calculations right. Look at that celebration. We've seen so many times the lead change. 85-79, all smiles for Weber. Jenna of India, 75-70 in the first. He'll be looking at trying to get in that final 8. Oh, and he's done it. Well, he's not just done it, he's absolutely smashed through what he did in round 1. And look at the chalk just come off that javelin as he launches it into the air. Well, he's gone from 75 meters 70 to 82.82. India, first, fifth, and 10th so far in this men's javelin final. Timothy Herman is holding up this men's javelin final in 12th position. He won't want to be in 12th. This is the important throw for him in the second round. You don't want to leave it till the third to guarantee those extra 3 throws. What can the man from Belgium produce? Well, it's not going to be enough to get into that top 8. Currently it's taken over 80 meters, 80 meters at 42. Oh, and what about that? Absolute maximum commitment behind that javelin. What has he gone out to? 74 meters 56. Well, it will be an improvement, but he will remain in 12th position. So back to the man from Finland, Oliver Helander. He was in first position after the first round, then he was holding on to second. He's now dropped to 4th position. Again, another man who chooses to fall to the ground. That will not be an improvement. He's had some great results this year, the man from Finland, ranked world number 6. He was third in Henglo, Continental Tour gold meeting, second in Turku, another of the Continental Tour gold meetings. He was 4th in Lausanne Diamond League. So he really is always there or thereabouts at this level. And okay, we can move away from the men's javelin throw just for a moment. I've got to say, the mascot, he is very funny. Well, not sure if these men's javelin throws are even aware of what is going on at the side of them. Full commitment to this final. Atletics of the Czech Republic. He went out to 84.18 in the second. Weber has just overhauled him, 85.79 in his second round. And another good throw from the man from the Czech Republic. Well, that is not going to see him climb up the leaderboard. .83.65. Wegner of Poland next. He's just taken a moment to compose himself. Got some athlete introductions going on inside the stadium. Here we go. This is Wegner in the third round. Well, Wegner really needs a good throw here, and it's the first time he's got over 80 meters this evening. He's certainly going to move up 2 or 3 positions. It needs to be 3 from the man from Poland, and indeed it is. 80 meters at 75. Wegner has got 1 foot in the final 8. 9 competitors, of course, still to go after Wegner. 80 meters at 75. They really produced the goods when it was needed. Is it going to be enough? Neeraj Chopra of India will be the next competitor to go. There was a foul in the first. He wasn't accepting it, was he? He was like, I'm not having that distance next to my name. 88-17 in that second round. And that could be good enough to take this title. He's in a brilliant position, luxurious position of still having 4 more attempts. This is his 3rd attempt. The reigning Olympic champion. Oh, and another one over 85 meters. The Indian hero is having a great competition out there this evening. Just trying to see what that one was measured at. 86.32. Well, he's stacking these throws up now, isn't he? We do have some track action going on. We should see the man from Moldova next, Mordor. Just looking down his scorecard. He's in 10th position so far. Adrian Mordor of Moldova. So what distance are we looking for? We're looking for 80 meters at 64 to guarantee him a chance of advancing for another 3 throws. Well, that won't be enough, but it is an improvement. Mordor of Moldova. 79.66, 79.24 and 79.49. So that will be the end of his World Championship campaign. He's been so consistent. What a shame he couldn't just get over that 80-meter line. That really is the benchmark for all of these men. From Egypt, he's been so good all year, hasn't he? So consistent. He's holding on to that 8th position. That is just short of 80 meters. Oh, it's going to be a nervous wait for Abdelrahman. Oh, and he's decided to foul it. So let's have a look. 80 meters at 64. There he is, tentatively in the final. As Babar is just using that ice pack once again. Could do with one of those up in the commentary box. Very, very warm, stuffy evening. It's the humidity more than anything. As the man from Pakistan, a former cricketer, Arshad Nadeem. Well, he's in 6th position. I'm going to say that's enough to guarantee him an extra 3 throws. But what has he done? Arshad Nadeem. Well, that's medal territory. Don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's wait for the graphic to show us exactly what that throw has gone out to. Well, it's not going to be ahead of Chopra, but Weber's 85.79 certainly looks vulnerable. Oh, and it's a season's best. So it is an improvement, 87.82. We've got a World Championship final on our hands here. Deepu Manu of India. Can he follow his 2 teammates through to the top 8 in this competition? He's going to need a big throw to do that. Oh, and he produces one. Well, round 3 is really shuffling the order up now, isn't it? It's just like everyone's woke up. Yep, he says that's the one. Well, he's got himself into 5th position, 83.72. Could India have 3 men in the second half of this final? Well, it's now or never for several of these athletes, including Matesevičius of Lithuania. And that one is over 80 meters. Well, he was holding on to 8th position for quite a considerable time, and I think he could have done it. So 75.13, 80.42. Well, that's a huge improvement in the 3rd round for the Lithuanian. He needs 80.75. Look at that. A good combination of speed and release angle. And it is 82 meters 29. So those are the figures now to make it through to the second half of the competition. Well, Weber doesn't need to worry about getting an extra 3 throws. He's almost guaranteed that. But he'll be looking at those 2 top scores, 87.82 and 88.17, to get amongst the medals. So consistent, this man from Germany. And that is not going to trouble the medalists at all. Well, this is his 14th time in a major global final. He's won many medals in his career. That's 79.86, but he's never got on top of the podium. How much he would love to do that. Kishore Jenner is in 7th position, courtesy of that 82.82 in the second round. Something has just clicked for him this season. And again, a throw that comes down below the 80-meter mark. And he fouls it again, like his teammate Chopra. Well, he can afford to give a little smile. He's competing extremely well this evening. Harman of Belgium. This is his last attempt to book himself a slot in the second half of this javelin throw final, and he certainly puts everything behind that one. But I went on his reaction before I even followed the flight of the javelin. No. Timothy Herman will go home from the National Athletic Centre this evening with a best in the final of 74 meters 56. So the halfway stage of the competition. Just time for the men to actually look up at that scoreboard themselves, if they didn't already know where they featured. We will say goodbye to 4 competitors. It will be Wegner, We lose Herman, Marder as well, and Abdelrahman. Well, that is such a shame. A couple of men making the first World Championship final. And it will be Mata Sejavukus of Lithuania who will start round 4. He'll start over 8th through to 1st. Valchek's improvement over the years. Look how consistent he is. First time over 90 meters in his career last year, but some real consistency all the way from 2016 through to 2023. He's been throwing over 85 meters, which really is something. You think about this event, so much wear and tear on the body, all those joints, so much jarring, elbows, knees, wrists. And when you see statistics like that, let's look at Weber's. Well, very similar story. Personal best also come in last year, just under 90 meters. And looking at that, to have an 88.17 in first place and an 87.82 in second, it just shows you that we've seen two of the best throws in the world. That speaks for itself, of course, the World Championship final. But even though I've been talking about the conditions, that they're not really productive for those huge throws, somehow these men have got those spears out to those real respectable distances. Well, the crowd are getting behind the Lithuanian athlete. Juhu, the mascot of this championships, is getting behind him. Here we go. Mata Yususevicu in round 4. That is just short of 80 meters. Well, it took his distance of 82.29 to make it into this top 8. He just shakes his head. Former basketball player. Lithuania have lifted 1 medal so far in this championships. It was a bronze. Michaelis Alekna in the men's discus throw. Kishore Jenna of India, one of 3 men to advance to the second half of the World Championship final. 82.82 in the second. Needs to find half a meter to get up into 6th position. And he's not going to find that in round 4. That was 80 meters 19. Oliver Helander, currently in 6th position. He finished in 8th position last year in Oregon. And it is much of the same. A lot of these athletes either get a really good one, and we're seeing those throws in excess of 85 meters, or it just goes up into the air and just comes down very quickly. one of the oldest events in the sport of athletics, of course, the javelin throw, and always very, very popular. DP Manu of India is in 5th place so far, 83.72. He'd need half a metre to advance into 4th position. Oh, and he almost did a forwards roller, didn't he? And he just made contact with that line. He just got his knee past the line. So it won't be an improvement. Really interesting to see that 6 out of the world's top 10 throwers made it through to this final. There wasn't any major casualties. There was a few, as we see Vladchek always comes very close to that line. Oh, and that's another good one from the man from the Czech Republic. He's got a really good scorecard this evening, 82.59. 84.18 and 83.65. I know we shouldn't concentrate on who isn't here, but Anderson Peters from Grenada is one of the men who didn't advance to this final. That was 83.62 for Vladchek. Julius Yego from Kenya. He's been an absolute sensation. Remember when he lifted that Olympic title? Sean Walcott from Trinidad and Tobago. He didn't start the qualification round, so it's a shame that we didn't get some of those familiar names into this men's javelin throw final. But we did get 6 out of the world's top 10 throwers who did advance. And this man, Weber, would always be on your list if you had to predict who's going to make this final. I don't think anyone in the right mind would have put him on the list. So it was that second round throw where he just managed to get all those elements of the throw together. He needs a couple of meters to improve into 2nd position from 3rd. No, he looks disappointed, but it is well over 80 meters once again. Well, we don't give out prizes for consistency. If we did, this guy would certainly be up there. It just takes one throw in this game. No one remembers the rest of your scorecard. Well, that was at 82.55 from Weber. Current silver medalist. Man holding on to the 2nd position so far. Arshad Nadeem will go next. Well, he was so impressive in qualification, considering that was his first competition of the season. I wonder how nervous he was coming into that. Always like to keep that competitive juice flowing. But he really did build into that competition. He recorded the 2nd best throw, 86.79. And he has thrown in advance of that this evening. Well, we are just about to go underway with another event on the track, so these men are just taking a pause once again as Weber's just having a chat to his coach in the stand. And I think the javelin throw is definitely one of those throws where you can do with a little bit of feedback. I think especially on an evening like this, not very often in arenas around the world, there's just a nil wind. So Nadeem now limbering up. So he'll be able to take his 4th round attempt very, very soon. And here we go, asking the crowd to get behind him now. If I'm not going to get any wind to lift this javelin, I need you guys to lift my spirits. Just as I say that, there's a tiny breeze just appeared out of nowhere in the stadium. Oh, and it is a good throw for Nadim. Well, you can see it is an advance of Weber's bronze medal throw so far. Maybe not quite as far as his own silver medal. I mean, I keep saying silver medal. I should say in 3rd position and 2nd position thus far. But it's certainly one of the farthest throws we've seen this evening. 87 meters 15. Did the breeze come just at the right time? These throwers really prefer a tailwind. You think that the javelin would go out a little bit further because of the reduction in both the drag and the lift. But let's look what Chopra can do on his 4th round. He's a real star in India. Everybody knows his name. Appeared on the front cover of Vogue in India, the first sports person to do that. And that really shows you're right in the heart of the public. Here we go. Neeraj Chopra in the 4th round. Well, he's not turned round to the crowd this time like he did on his previous throw. Maybe he just knew, no, it's not the big one I've been waiting for, but it is another very consistent throw. Like it might be around about 84 meters, maybe it was a little bit shy of 85. And I've listened to a lot of people talk about this guy, an 84-64. I think it was Dan O'Brien, one of our colleagues at World Athletics. He said, you know what? When he was born, the javelin gods looked down on this man. They just gave him everything that he needed to be a successful javelin thrower. Round 5 then. Matas Sevikus of Lithuania is still propping up 8th position. Such a tidy thrower. But just lacking the distance where that javelin went out to. Well, that will be a foul. And I think on an evening like this, when you've been warming up for several hours, it's very, very hot. You've been out there in humid conditions and you've not quite landed the javelin in the spot that you want to so far. You've really got to find something from within. You start getting through to round 5 and round 6. Maybe that's why we've seen some of the men really asking the crowd to get behind them, rally them to just find something extra. For sure, Jenna of India 1, 5 and 7 so far. It was his 2nd round when he went out to 82-82. Still looking for half a metre advancement to move up the leaderboard. Oh, and that could be it. Yes, he thinks so too. And just look at the athleticism on him. Both arms up in the air. Oh, and it's a huge improvement for Jenna. It's a personal best. Well, we talked about how much he's already improved this year. That is 84 meters at 77. He goes from 7th position to 4th. Just allowing himself small clap there of appreciation. Oliver Hollander finds himself now down in 7th position. Still hanging on to his best from the first round, 83.38. Oh, and it just dips down right towards the end of the flight path. That one certainly looked good when he let go of it. Looked like it had a good angle of release, but it just dropped out of the sky and below 80 meters. So he's walked over that foul line. Faber just, well, I was going to say keeping himself warm. I don't think he needs to keep himself warm, but just limbering around. Manu from India. The 3 men from the Indian nation now in the top 6 positions. He's seen his teammate Jenna overtake him. A brilliant personal best from him. Asian Championship silver medalist this year, Manu. Oh, and that is good. Well, he has already done 83 meters 72. That could be a similar distance. He does need 84.18 to move up any position. See again the graphics, 30 degrees release angle, some decent velocity on it as well, and that won't be an improvement. Very, very similar distance in the 5th to his 3rd, 83.48. Badlec sees himself down in 5th position now. Is thrown fantastically this year. He opened up in Potchefstroom in South Africa in April with an 88-meter throw. Oh, and that is a good one. Well, he needed that one in round 5. He holds the 1st, 4th and 5th world best throws going into this final. And it would be a shame if that consistency wasn't converted to a medal. I could go on and on about the consistency of Badlec. He threw in 89 meters in May. And look at the speed there, almost 30 meters per second. Still waiting on that score, and I've just got it on my computer system. Here we go, it's coming on the graphic as well. 86.67. That is good enough for 3rd position. Well, you wouldn't want to leave it to the 6th round. It becomes very, very tense. We've seen so many people move in and out of medal positions in the 5th and 6th rounds in many of these throw finals. And Weber now asking the crowd, come on guys, help me get back up there. Another meter will do it. Weber, round 5. That is over 80 meters once again, possibly around the 82-meter mark. But it's not the 86.67 that Badlec has just gone out to. It's 82.81 for the German athletes. stays in 4th position. Asham Nadine of Pakistan, 74.80 in the first. He then built nicely, 82.81. It was a big throw in the third, 87.82. And he backed it up with that 87.15 in the fourth. He's looking for 35 centimetres. 35 centimetres would tie the farthest throw with Chopra, and it would give him the lead, courtesy of that 87.15 second best. Chopra, of course, still got 2 throws to come himself. Nadine then in the 5th, and it has just fell short of the 80-metre line. And the world's top throwers, some of them are really struggling with the consistency out there this evening. Much discussion amongst the best coaches in the world. Chopra, national hero, to finish the 5th round. Just applying a little bit more chalk to those fingers. Chain of events from the arm muscles, isn't it? The shoulder, followed by the elbow, the wrist, and then finally the fingers. There's a chain that's connected, and it produces a whip-like finish to the throwing motion. And you just need all the elements to do their job. Someone like Chopra, I heard somebody saying he doesn't even need to rely on his feet, because his upper body, the way he can just wrap himself around that javelin, it just really gives him a huge advantage over the others, and this is why he's one of the world's best throwers. Oh, and you can hear a whoosh from the crowd every time this man lets go of his javelin. Those graphic lines are very, very useful for helping us sight where we think it landed. And look at that, we talk about 30 to 40 degrees being the optimum angle of release. He's bang in the middle there, 35 metres. Doesn't get as much velocity as some of the others. Here we go, 87.73. What a great second throw to back up his first. So just like that, we're now in the 6th and final round of this men's javelin throw final. Weber just composing himself, not in the medals at the moment. Matasevakus, what can he do, the Lithuanian? Oh, and he just manages to pull back and save that throw. Is he going to want that one measured? As he just acknowledges the crowd. Well, how much he would have loved to have drawn upon the sort of distance that he set for his national record. That's 89.17. That was 77.53. Oliver Helendanka from Finland, just prowling in the background there. There's that ice pack that I'm very envious of. Alexander is still hanging on to the 83.38 opener. That was an hour or so ago, maybe an hour and 10 minutes ago. Very, very difficult when you've been out there competing for an hour already and you're asking your body to find something it's not been able to do so far. But let's see what a man from Finland can do in round 6. Well, full commitment once again behind that javelin. Oh, and I'm wondering whether that is an improvement. Well, he puts his hands together. Well, it would be nice if he can finish with his best throw of the evening. Again, perfect graphics. Really helps us sight why the javelin went out to the distance it did. That was 82.85, so it wasn't an improvement, but his second best throw right at the end of this competition. DP Manu of India. India are guaranteed 3 men in the top 6 in this competition. Can one of the others join Chopra in the medals? Manu has gone out to 83.72 in the third. It certainly looks like it could be there or thereabouts. He would need 84.77 to climb up 1 position into 5th. And it is 84.14, so it is an improvement for Manu. He'll finish in 6th position in this World Championship final. His teammate, one of his teammates, Kishore Jenner, a brilliant personal best in the previous round, 84.77. And you can't ask for more than producing a lifetime best when it matters the most. But can he get more? Well, once again, over the 80-meter line. I wrote in my notes, over 80 meters 4 times this season. Well, there's been over 80 meters 3 times this evening, so I make that 7 times now. And that was deemed a foul. Kishore Jenner walks away with a new personal best in 5th position. So Julian Weber is the only man now left to upset one of our 3 medalists by really pulling one out of the bag with his last throw. So nice to see him lift that European title last year. Did it in Munich in front of a German home crowd. Very, very popular figure. And he's saying that way, I want it a long way that way. 90 meters would be nice. Weber with the most important throw of his 2023 season. High step approach. Oh, and it just comes down. Oh, well, another throw short of 80 meters. We've seen many of those from these men this evening, as well as the superb ones when they've absolutely hit it and it's just gone right for them. That's 79.01. And you've got a feel for Weber. 4th in Tokyo, 4th in Oregon, and 4th in Budapest. Badlec is guaranteed a medal. Well, he always comes close to that line. And he came incredibly close again there with his 6th and final attempt. And he said, you know what, don't worry about that one, guys. Well, it will be a bronze medal for Blachek and the Czech Republic. 86 meters at 67. A very, very impressive series of throws. So a two-way battle for this title now. Nadeem from Pakistan versus Chopra from India. There's 35 centimeters in it. Chopra does have the second best throw, so he's going to need 36 centimeter improvement. He needs to throw 88-18 or else the gold medal is going to India. And another good throw, but Chopra will be crowned the world champion. And I did just hear a Velcro strap. I'm wondering whether Chopra is going to take his 6th and final throw or not. It was at 81-86 from Nadeem. The Commonwealth Games champion from 2022 has just added a silver medal from the World Championships. And Chopra takes that javelin. The support belt is back on. He is going to take his 6th and final throw. Well, very busy in this arena. We've got the women's high jump final going on. Final after final after final, of course, as you would expect on the last evening. Neeraj Chopra is adding the world title to his Olympic Games title. It's an upgrade from Oregon last year. He's converted the silver into a gold. And is up for this one. The stadium is absolutely buzzing as the new world champion takes to the runway. And it's another huge throw for Chopra. It won't contend with his best couple of throws of this evening, but he kisses the track. Well, Budapest will always have a special place in Chopra's heart now, as his 2 teammates are the first athletes to congratulate him, followed by the rest of these men. So tough to come to this championships with the hopes of a nation on your shoulders. Well, Nadeem, I wonder what he's thinking. He was up against it, wasn't he, in the form of Chopra. Both of these men in the first 2 positions, not even ranked in world rankings, through to the injury troubles and tolls that they've had over the past season. And here is where we love seeing all of that emotion. Blachek, I don't know whether he would have accepted a bronze if you would have offered him that at the beginning of the evening. But when you're not in a medal position and you sneak up into one right at the depth of the competition, I think you're just so grateful that you are bringing some silverware home. Well, I think this competition did follow the form book. Many people would have probably had these 3 men to certainly come certainly challenge for the medals. They might not have had them in that position, but I think they would have thought, you know what, those three, they'll be in the final 5 or 6. Perhaps the most disappointed athlete tonight will be Germany's Julian Weber, the European champion, going home once again from a global final without a medal. Well, it really does rely on so many things coming together at the right time. Form, health, being able to cope with the mental skills needed to perform on the big stage. And anyone who can get themselves to a final have done incredibly well. But those people who get themselves onto the podium are superhuman, aren't they? Well, again, we're seeing the athletes with the medals around the neck. I'm a huge fan of these instant medal moments. I thought Nadim would be a little bit smilier, I've got to say. It's absolutely fantastic for him to be taking a medal back home to Pakistan. He is a big-time performer. He won an absolute fantastic Commonwealth Games final last year with a national record of 90 metres 18. So we already knew he had what it took to be successful. But never got his hands on a global medal before. And there is Jan Zalesny, an icon of this event, long-term coach. Of all the athletes all around the world vying to be at these World Championships, there can only be a chosen one. Chopra is the chosen one, the world champion. Well, it seems that everyone around him is more emotional than the man himself. He's a cool customer, isn't he? I was listening to some of his interviews the other day in the mix zone with all the journalists. Everyone wanted to speak to him, and he was very, very gracious. He stopped for a lot of TV stations, gave them some lovely, lovely interviews. Well, that was his winning moment. He looked at the crowd, he knew what he'd done. And he just fell to the floor. He kissed the floor. He'll remember this moment for a long, long time. Just allows himself a quick glance at that medal. Neeraj Chopra from India, top of the world. Well, we will be able to tie up the full results. Of course, it's only right to focus on our medalists. Here we go. This is our full results. We've seen the gold, the silver and the bronze. Chopra, Nadim and Vladchek. Weber, 4th position. Jenna there with that personal best. Hollander also doing very, very well. That first throw, 83.38. And then we had to say goodbye to the men in 9th, 10th and 11th and 12th position. Just heading up the bottom of that score.